Hello and hola! Welcome to Yoga with Criss. In this video, I'll show you a few mobilization flows to help us finding out how our range of motion is and lubricating our joints. Doing mobilization sessions helps our body warming up before a workout to avoid injuries and also can help us to improve our range of motion. Follow along, listening directions, and let me know in the comment section how it felt. From a standing position with our heels hip width apart and double checking because we tend to think that our hips are more narrow than they really are. Lifting our toes and making sure that all the corners of our feet are well grounded, avoiding to collapse on our arches, feeling like our hips want to take off from ground but the heels hold them down, lengthening our arms. Inhaling as we sweep our arms overhead, exhaling, sweeping our arms down, and repeating. Softening our knees every time our arms reach up and reach down. Lengthening our arms as we find our hands together and bring them to our heart center. Setting our heels wider than our hips, facing the side of our mat on a sumo squat, pointing our toes and knees to the corners, avoiding our arches and knees to collapse, driving our hips back, bringing our elbows to our ribs, inhaling, bringing our hands up, exhaling, elbows to our ribs, inhaling, exhaling. From here, let's inhale again, bringing our hands up as we tap one to the other, and as we exhale, drawing a circle with our hands. Inhaling, hands up, exhaling, closing the circle. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Putting our hands together as we exhale, bringing them to our chest. Moving back to the front of our mat, heels hip width apart and anchoring well our feet. Inhaling, sweeping our hands overhead. Exhaling, sweeping our arms down, hinging from the hips, not our waist, not our spine, our hips. Softening our knees and bending them as much as we need so we can plant our hands on the mat. It doesn't matter how bent our knees are, as long as we are pulling our hips to the skies. Inhaling, straightening our legs and our back, bending our knees, hands on our mat, tailbone up. Inhaling, bringing our hands overhead. Exhaling, hinging from the hips, bending our knees, hands to our mat, and pointing our tailbone up. Straightening our legs as we inhale. Exhaling, bending our knees to forward fold. Inhaling, sending our hands up. Exhaling to plant our hands on the mat and pulling our hips up. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, sweeping our hands all the way up. Exhaling, forward fold, but this time holding the pose for 2 rounds of breath. Inhaling deep and exhaling gently. Meeting on halfway lift and holding the pose for 2 breaths. For some of us, may be easier to lean our hands on our thighs. For some other, on the shins. Bending our knees to forward fold for one breath. And sending our hands overhead as we exhale, bringing them to our heart center. If you like this video, please touch the thumb up and share it with your friends and family. Finding a focal point in front of us and shifting our weight to our left leg, avoiding sitting on our hip. We can correct that by engaging our hip and glute muscles as well as our abdominal area and bringing our right ankle to our left thigh to form a number 4 figure. And once we're in balance, let's bring our hands to our chest, remembering to breathe slow and then driving our hips back, gently bending our knee, feeling a stretch on the side of our thigh or our hip or even our glute. Holding the pose for 2 rounds of breath. We can always help ourselves with a wall or with a chair on the side of us in case we feel like we're gonna lose the balance. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, this is the perfect moment to do so. Below the screen, there's a subscribe button. Please touch it, and also the notification bell. Doing the same, finding our focal point, shifting our weight to the right leg, engaging our core, which includes also the hips. Bringing our left ankle to the right thigh, hands to our heart, and driving our hips back so we can proceed to bending our knee. Holding the pose for 2 breaths. And gently straightening our right leg and landing our left foot. Facing the side of our mat with our heels wider than our hips, toes and knees pointing to the corners, driving our hips back as if we were trying a Sumo squat. Hinging from the hips and leaning our torso forward, bending our knees as much as we need so we can plant our hands on the mat. We can also help ourselves by using yoga blocks to bring the floor closer to us. And then we can pull our tailbone a little higher. Slowly bending our knees again, lowering our hips, and with our elbows or our forearms pushing our knees out. If we have long arms, we may be able to get our hands on a prayer and keep pushing our knees out. Dropping our hands and pushing the mat down. Let's lift our hips up to feel the stretch on the back of our thighs. Breathing deep and slow. And let's remember, it doesn't matter how bent our knees are. We want to pull our tailbone up. That's what matters. Bending our legs and using our elbows to push our knees out. If you want to improve your squat, check this video I'm leaving here. If this is as far as we can go, let's hold the pose. But if we feel like we can handle extra challenge, let's try to go a little further down without hurting and avoiding any pain. Planting our hands on the mat again as we push it down and lifting our hips to feel the stretch. Breathing slow and deeply. Bending our knees a lot, using our elbows to push our knees out. Breathing slow and deeply. Carefully putting one hand in front and the other one behind us, gently landing our seat bones on the mat and sweeping our legs back. If you feel like you're learning something new, please share this video with your friends and give me a like. Setting our knees mat width apart and getting our big toes together, let's get our hips as close as we can to our heels in a comfort and relaxed child's pose. Resting our hands by our head or by our feet or even overhead, whatever feels comfortable for us. Focusing on our breath. At this very moment, we are only thinking about breathing deeply and slowly. Inhaling, exhaling, letting our muscles to relax, closing our eyes, forgetting about everything else. Setting our hands underneath our shoulders and keeping our eyes closed, let's push the mat down, finding our comfortable seated position. It could be kneeling or our preferred seated position. Dropping our chin to our chest, gently opening our eyes, and inhaling as we bring our arms overhead, catching the blessings from the universe between our hands and bringing them to our heart. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste. If you have any questions, leave them below in the comment section. I'll be very happy to help everyone.